Okay, hi guys. Today on this Citi Golf, we are going to replace a left-hand inner CV. Now, the way to tell if it's an outer CV or an inner CV that has failed, a outer CV will make a noise when you turn the steering, while an inner CV will make a noise when you pull away. As you can hear that distinctive knock as it's reversing, that is the inner CV making the noise. Okay guys, here we've got our inner CV. The contents in the box is quite comprehensive. I kind of like this CV. We've literally got some CV joint grease. We've got our boot, the new CV that we're going to put in, and this one actually comes with a packet of new bolts and the circlips that you're going to need to put the CV into place. So I'm quite impressed with this one. Okay guys, as you can see, that's our inner CV sitting there. That's the culprit. We're going to take it off and replace it with a new one. And this one we're actually going to do in car without taking the whole CV and side shaft out. Okay guys, what we're going to do is we're going to jack up the motor car to take off the left hand front wheel. Just remember, do not ever work on a car that stands on a jack. Once you've jacked it up, you are going to put it on one of these safety stands. It's way more safe than a jack, and then you can take the wheel off. Okay guys, as you can see, we've now got the wheel off, and if we go underneath the car, you'll be able to see there is the Allen key bolts that we're going to take out to take the CV joint out. Okay guys, as you can see, we've got the side shaft bolts out now. Quick little tip, the easiest way to get them out is take the car, put it into reverse, loosen two of them, take the car out of reverse, spin the rotor of the brake, and so forth. It's the easiest way, just to keep the car in reverse. So now we're going to remove the side shaft. Okay guys, the easiest way to get the CV off once you've got the bolts out is just to give it a couple of smacks with a hammer. Now, as you can see, the CV is loose, but we cannot take it out. Now, the way that we're going to take it out is we are going to turn the wheel. Okay guys, to take the CV out, we're going to lift it up, go take it to the back, and then we're just going to literally turn it. Okay guys, we've got our CV joint now halfway out, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to undo that bolt that holds the ball joint at the bottom, so that we can move the low control arm down. As we've got the low control arm ball joint loose, we're going to push it down a little bit, pull on the shock, and out comes our CV joint. Right, what we're going to do is we undid the boot, the little clamp on the boot there, give it a good yank to get the boot off. And now we're going to take the CV off. Okay guys, right there is a circlip that we're going to have to take out. Going to use our circlip pliers, put it in there, and just open that circlip up there. Okay, right, as you can see, that's our circlip, and we've got that one off. And now we're just going to give it a good smack with a hammer to get off. A little bit of persuasion. Guys, what's very important is right there is a little washer. If you have a look at it, it's actually concave. So in other words, the tapered part will go towards the outer CV, and you'll see there's a little ring that it goes in. That's very important. If your CV joint did not come with that washer, keep it, because you're going to need it again. Then we're going to take the boot off, and that is off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the shaft thoroughly with a rag, get all that old grease and gunk off, so we can put the new CV back in. Okay guys, what happens first is we're going to put the boot over. Now, normally these okies are a little bit tight, so You might just need a screwdriver to persuade it into going over there. And just push it all the way back. All the way back. Okay, the next thing that goes on is our new washer. Remember, we said the tapered side goes towards the outer CV. So that is going to sit like that there, right? And then we're going to put our CV in. But before we're going to put our CV back on, we're going to grease that CV. What we're going to do is we're going to put it flat on a flat surface. This one came with some nice CV joint grease, and we are just going to literally force it in there. Now what I also did is the flange on the gearbox, we cleaned out, got all that old grease out of there, right? Again, use your finger a little bit to just force that grease all the way in. Force it in nicely there. We're going to turn it around to the other side and force the grease in there as well. Get your finger to walk it in there a little bit. And the remainder of the grease in the packet you're going to put inside the CV joint boot. That is just so that there's always grease there too. Okay, right guys, when we put the CV in, remember there's a recess there. That recess is actually going to go towards the flange of the gearbox. You'll see it will fit in there. And the part without the recess is going to go towards the boot. So we're just going to slide it over like that. And then we're going to get the circlip in. Okay, right, the new CV actually came with new bolts. As you can see, the difference is these has got Torx instead of the Allen keys, but I kind of like this because putting new bolts in place of the old ones is actually a way better way of operating. So we're just going to get that in there, that in there. Push them past the shoulders of the boot and rotate the CV a bit. Get that one past the shoulders of the boot. And now we're going to get the CV into its place. Okay guys, I've made all of those bolts to sketch. Now I'm going to start tightening them. As you can see, we're using a ratchet. Okay, right guys, what we're going to do next is we are going to put the ball joint back in again. Okay, right, once it's in its position, you'll see that it's got a little groove, and you'll be able to take this bolt that we took out and put it back in again and tighten the nut up. Okay, right guys, we've tightened up the bolts for the CV joint using the same method that we did by putting the car into reverse. Now the last thing that we have to do is we have to put a cable tie, or if it comes with a metal tip, around the side of the CV joint. That is just to put the boot so that it doesn't leak out any grease or so. So you're just going to put your cable tie around there and give it a cut, and cut the boot please, and we're done. Okay guys, as you can see, we've got our wheel back on. Job is done. It's quite an easy job. It's not that hard to do. You are going to need the basic tools. This job should take you anything from 3/4 of an hour to an hour, and the busted knuckle factor on this one would be a 2.
If you like my channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or feel free to leave a comment.